Hey, what's up, soldiers? My name is GregFPS, the Zombies Extraordinaire, and welcome back to another Saturday Top 10, but this time on a Sunday. Today we're going to be doing the Top 10 Innovative Treyarch Zombies maps, and this was suggested by Mr. Duckfart, which is a very weird name. But if you guys have a Top 10 idea you want to see here on the channel, make sure to comment it down below, and if I use your idea, I'll give you a shout out in the beginning of the video. So I really hope you guys like this one. This is maps that literally change the landscape of zombies completely. So hope you enjoy. Let's jump into it. Coming in at the number 10 spot is going to be Moon. Now, Moon innovated a lot, but the main thing that it innovated was the storyline for Treyarch Zombies. Moon is definitely one of the most pivotal maps of all time because obviously we have Richtofen completing his grand scheme, switching souls with Samantha. We get to see what Samantha actually looks like, which is pretty cool. And there's a whole slew of other things that we get to see on Moon, which is just unparalleled to a lot of other maps when it comes to like the storyline perspective. And not only that, we had Area 51, which in itself was very cool, and then being on the moon with anti-gravity and everything like that, it was really interesting. And I thought Moon was just a great overall innovative map, and it also added Mule Kick, which I would say is probably one of the most popular perks when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies for high rounders and just people playing in general. Mule Kick is a great choice usually when you're going to be getting another weapon, unless you feel like you're going to down, which is usually why I don't buy it, because I'm always gonna down. So I think Mule Kick is a great perk, but it was cool that it was introduced on Moon and then brought into all the other maps in Black Ops 1, which is awesome. So coming in at the number 9 spot is going to be ShangriLa. Now, this map is really innovative for its Easter egg. It is a 4-player Easter egg, and at the time, it was probably the most in-depth and challenging Easter egg because there was a whole bunch of different things you needed. You needed the napalm zombie escort step, which is probably the most annoying. You had monkeys that steal your power-ups, which is also annoying. And I mean, you can get lucky and get a perk as well, which is pretty cool. But ShangriLa, I really like this map, and why it's innovative so much is you can do the Easter egg 4 times in one game, so each player can get perma perks. And this is what a lot of high rounders have done in the past, and I actually ended up doing it myself. So it's really cool to go through and do the Easter egg 4 times, and I think that's why it's really innovative. But having the Shrieker zombie, having the napalm zombie, and the monkeys and everything like that, it's just a great overall map in my opinion, and it comes in at the number 9 spot. And it's also probably the most challenging map when it released as well, and it's still one of the hardest. Coming in at the number 8 spot is going to be Shadows of Evil. Now, this map introduced a ton of stuff with Black Ops 3, like the Gobblegum system, and that's kind of why we're going to be saying that Shadows of Evil innovated a lot. The overall appearance of Gobblegums has really changed what everyone thinks of Black Ops 3. Whether you love it or hate it, you can't deny that Gobblegums were a really interesting idea, to say the least. Now, a lot of people were really against Gobblegums, and I honestly wasn't really that excited about them. But then as time went on, when you get Perkaholic and you get, some other OP Gobblegums and you start using them, it actually makes the game a lot more fun and, in my opinion, better. So I would say that Shadows innovated a lot there, but also it set up the entire story with a fairly interesting Easter egg overall. We got to see Richtofen in the end cutscene steal the summoning key, which was super interesting. And overall, I think that Shadows really laid the groundwork for the rest of Black Ops 3 as a whole to make it one of the best, if not the best, zombies game of all time. So for that reason, Shadows comes in at the number 8 spot. Coming in at the number 7 spot is going to be Call of the Dead. Call of the Dead is one of the most innovative maps because of Deadshot Daiquiri. Okay, no, it's not that. It's the fact that you can do this Easter egg solo or co-op, and it was the first solo Easter egg that you could actually do. Not only that, you couldn't really camp on the map because George Romero walked around. And this was also the first map that had a celebrity crew, which we got to see later on in other games as well, like on Mob of the Dead, on Shadows of Evil, on Dead of the Night. one of everyone's favorite maps. Overall, the celebrity crew idea was really innovative, and that's why we keep seeing it in every game. We didn't get one in Cold War because operators are bad and ruin the game, and therefore we're not going to have celebrity crews anymore because of operators. Another reason why operators are terrible. But overall, I think that the innovation on Call of the Dead was something that changed up the formula for zombies, and I think having a soloable Easter egg way back then, it kind of makes you wonder why they didn't do that in Black Ops 2, except for Origins, which originally wasn't even meant to be a soloable Easter egg. So pretty interesting stuff, and it comes in here at the number 7 spot. Coming in at the number 6 spot is going to be Ascension. Now, when you take a look at Ascension, it's basically derision. If you think about it, you have 3 different areas you have to connect. You have to either teleport on derision or use the lunar landers from all 3 locations. It's basically identical, and then you launch a rocket on Ascension. But Ascension did have the first actual Easter egg where you got a reward, which was a 90-second death machine, and it turned black and white and Samantha laughed. Now, this was the first Easter egg. Although it's kind of lame overall, we do have to give it credit for what it was. And also, we got monkeys that steal perks, which was super interesting. And Ascension also had PhD and Stamina Up introduced, which I would say are arguably 2 of the top 5 perks maybe. I think PhD is so good in Black Ops 1, and Stamina Up is still a staple of zombies. All the speedrunners like to use it, and it's just a great perk overall. So I think that Ascension really did innovate zombies as a whole, having the black and white start to the game, and then you have to turn on power. It was just a really good map, and a lot of high rounders like it as well. So for that reason, it comes in here at the number 6 spot. Coming in at the number 5 spot is going to be Derision. Now, we couldn't talk about innovative zombies maps without Derision. Now, there's a lot of other maps that led up to the point of Derision, but Derision was the first Treyarch zombies map to have a boss fight, so that was super innovative in itself. Also, it brought the best parts from different maps to create one absolute masterpiece. You had the dogs turned into dragons that you feed. You had Samantha Says basically with all of those different computer steps that you have to do on Derision, which is cool. Overall, it just added a bunch and made a very cohesive zombies map. And also, we got to see one of the most in-depth and emotional cutscenes as well, which kind of set the tone for the others that we got to see. Well, I guess in ZNS, I wouldn't say GK was as emotional. It was, but not as much as ZNS. But Derision kind of led up to that point. So I think that Derision is really just innovative in general, and it had to be here on the list. Coming in at the number 4 spot is going to be Origins. Now, Origins is a super innovative map because it literally set up how amazing Black Ops 3 was. Derision was the first map to have elemental wonder weapons, which in itself was absolutely crazy at the time. 1,000-foot robots literally walking on a map, and you literally cannot deny that it is not one of the most innovative maps. It was crazy. They literally stretched Black Ops 2 to its maximum with that map, and somehow they were able to pull it off. The map is perfect in pretty much every way, and it was the first map that had a crazy super in-depth Easter egg if you think about it. Now, most of it is just building the staffs, but in itself, it was a very cool Easter egg, bringing in the verruckt steps from Black Ops 1. And I think the Origins was just really cool. They introduced the Wonder Fizz, which was awesome, and just a lot of different things. We got a new looking Pack-a-Punch, which was really cool as well. And it had its own box as well, which was cool. And then all the different portals and everything like that. There was a lot of interesting stuff that was brought into Origins. So for that reason, it comes in here at the number 4 spot. Coming in at the number 3 spot is going to be Transit. Now, you may be taken back by me saying Transit, but if you think about it, it's actually a very innovative map. It was the first map that introduced buildables, so you could build different things on the map, like a turbine to get out of the spawn room. You could build a shield, you could build Pack-a-Punch, you could build the jet gun, everyone's favorite thing, or you could build the turret lawnmower trap. in the farm area, which is absolutely terrible and can kill you. And you can also build the electric trap, which is in the power station, which you also have to build the power switch, by the way. But the electric trap at the power station is literally the worst trap in all zombies. But overall, it's really cool that you can build different things and also introduce the bank. But not only those two things, transit also was able to be split into different subsets of those maps, and a lot of people love town. Town introduced grief, which was really cool. We had grief on town, we had grief on farm, and it also had farm, bus depot, all that stuff. And diner eventually had turned with DLC 1. So there was a lot of really cool things that they did with those different subsets of transit to make them just basic survival maps, which I think was really innovative at the time. So it was split, and that made it great because people could play on just one part of the map instead of having to run through fog and lava and run into denizens. So overall, that made it great, and it comes in here at the number 3 spot. Coming in at the number 2 spot is going to be Verruckt from World at War. Now, this is definitely not one of my favorite maps, but you can't deny that it wasn't innovative. Not only did it have traps, but it also introduced the 4 original perks. Now, traps have been a huge mainstay when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies. We've had traps on basically every map that you can think of, and they are very iconic for the map that they're on. And I think the electric trap is definitely one of the things you think of when you think of Verruckt. There's multiple of them, and they're really useful for high rounds and things like that, whereas like a map like Mob of the Dead, you would think of the acid trap or something like that, you know what I mean? And also the 4 original perks: double tap, speed cola, jug, and quick revive. Now, if you're playing in a solo game in World at War and you had quick revive, it didn't help you at all. You just died anyways. So I think they made a good improvement on improving that in Black Ops 1, but I will say that having perks changed up zombies completely. Instead of getting hit once or twice actually and going down, you now had the chance to get hit more, and that expanded the horizons for zombies and really made it what it is today. Whenever they take out Jug, like in Black Ops 4, people are automatically like against it. They don't like it because they're not used to it, and I think that is a very valid reason why Juggernog was so important, and it is so iconic when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies. So I think perks and all that stuff really definitely is innovative, and it comes in at the number 2 spot with Verruckt. Alright guys, we have one honorable mention, and it's going to be Shinonuma. Now, the only reason I wanted to bring this up was because it was the first map that introduced a special round, so we had dogs. It also introduced a new wonder weapon besides the ray gun, the Wonderwaff, and also it introduced the entire zombies storyline. So I want to bring that up because I think it's very important. Now it is time for the number 1 spot. Coming in at the number 1 spot is going to be Theresa. Now, Theresa introduced a lot of stuff. We had teleporters, which was crazy. We had more about the zombie storyline, which was also really cool. We got to see the beginning of Group 935 and all their experiments and things like that with teleportation, and the Wonderwaff was also on this map. And if you have Jug and you shoot it and electrifies yourself, you lose Jug, which was definitely not intentional, but they never fixed it. But the main thing that's really important about Theresa is Pack-a-Punch. Pack-a-Punch is another huge staple of zombies. One of the things that you think of when you think of Call of Duty Zombies, you think of Pack-a-Punch, you think about the characters, and you think about Jug. And those are like the 3 things that I think of when I think of zombies. And I also think of Mob of the Dead, but that's besides the point. I think Theresa is super iconic, being one of the first maps that really innovated and added onto the perk system. And not only that, it was the first map to not just have 24 zombies per round in World at War. They changed it up with Theresa to make it more difficult, and I think that was a really cool step in the correct direction for zombies. So overall guys, I would say Theresa is the most innovative map when it comes to Call of Duty Zombies history. Let me know what you guys think. Do you disagree? And also, I want to mention that I totally forgot to talk about Widow's Wine with Shadows of Evil, another innovation that Shadows had as well, one of the best perks in zombies history. So thanks for watching guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.